It's Christmas Eve, and I was not planning. I'm doing some last minute shopping, last minute pickups, since this is just what I do. I just rolled out of bed here, but I just was listening to like this podcast thing, and I remember last night I was tired, and I started writing. It was like 12:03, and I was writing about sensation and how there's two different ways to feel. One way you feel with your mind, and you can produce sensation in your body, but yet you're not really feeling it. It's like you're making it happen in your mind, and then you're getting the same outcome but different than the actual felt experience of being in your body. So you can feel sensation in two different ways: when you're actually in your body and you're feeling the actual touch, not just the pressure. And another way is you're actually in your mind producing the feeling in your body. And this is actually proof right here. Start paying attention to that the mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is not. You can produce the same outcome through thought alone, but the feeling and felt sensation of that experience is going to be a different experience than the one where you're actually engulfed in the sensation of what actually is, rather than what your mind is trying to make you feel. So sometimes you miss the moment, and you miss the actual felt experience of the moment because you're in your head trying to make the moment something that you want it to be, or trying to make yourself feel something that you want it to feel. But the other half of this that came to my mind that I did not write down on my notes, that just randomly came to me as I was, and I'm like, I really don't want to forget this. What if I forget this? I really don't want to forget this. I should write it down. And I always write it back down, but this time I said, I'm not writing it down. I'm going to sleep. And it was about shattered glass and how it says road closed ahead. Oh. And it was about shattered glass. Okay, if I drop, I'm tired. This is from the twins, a little warrior wound there. If I drop a piece of glass and shatter it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I stare at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to break you. I am so sorry. And then I walk away. I'm like, well, that really sucked, man. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. And then I have, Jackson walks through. Ow, my foot. I didn't see that glass there. Oh yeah, I shattered that glass earlier. My bad. Geez, that hurts. Yeah, just wear shoes. Don't worry about it. The next person comes through, Sterling, and he starts crying because he steps on the glass. And so what I'm trying to get to is that we all have fragmented parts of us. We all have shattered glass. And we don't even know it. And people around us get used to, well, just put on your shoes and you won't get cut anymore. Just don't tell them how you feel, because then they can't shut you down and reject you. Just don't cry, because then they can't shame you. Just don't tell them the truth, because if you tell them the truth, you're gonna get yelled at. Just don't breathe, and you'll be fine. Oops. Just don't. And so it's like, we have the shattered glass, so I broke the shattered glass, back to the actual action of breaking shattered glass. So I break the shattered glass, okay? Everyone's cutting their feet, and I'm just sorry about that. And instead of just sweeping it up and doing something about it, retrieving all the fragmented, shattered pieces on the ground and removing it so it does not hurt other people, I just left it there. And just boom, and one day about 3 to 4 people get hurt because they walked through the kitchen, and I didn't tell them, hey, by the way, there's a piece of shattered glass on the floor. I said sorry to it, but for some reason it just stayed there. Yeah, I said sorry, and then I just walked away and I avoided it. And I didn't deal with it. And so I got about 3 or 4 people bleeding now because of me, because of my shattered glass. And we've all heard this. Yeah, you can't say sorry, but to a piece of shattered glass and then put itself back together. And by the way, when something shatters, it's never going to be put back together the same way. And so when you want to move energy, and when you want to retrieve fragmented parts, do not expect to be the same person you were before. That piece of shattered glass, of that plate, if the shards are big enough, I could put it back together, right? I really could. I could put it back together, but it will never be the same. And so when you're in a relationship, when you are going to go through the healing process, expect yourself, when you return your shattered pieces, your fragmented parts. You're not meant to return the same. You're not meant to return the same. You're gonna be put back together differently, and it's meant to change you. And if you're unwilling to change and you're saying, well, because it says Allie, yeah, right in front of me on a license plate. IU, baby, let's go. If you're unwilling to say, well, because I want to be just like I was before the shattered glass, so I'm not moving, I'm not going to budge, and I'm not going to retrieve my parts. And you know what? They deserve to bleed because they're the ones that caused me hurt. Well, what about the ones that didn't cause you hurt? Because they're going to be damaged goods unintentionally. You don't get to choose who you hurt with your pain. Hurt people. Pain pours over. And so you don't get to pick and choose, well, I'm only going to hurt the person that hurt me. No, you're going to hurt the people that you love because of me. Because of me. And then you're going to think that that's good enough. That's a good enough excuse to hurt people unintentionally. Because you don't want to deal with your pain. Because you don't want to go get your broken pieces and change. You're unwilling to change. And so I'm just taking the metaphor a little bit deeper. Then sorry's not good enough, and relational repair within yourself is necessary, which means you need corrective experiences. You don't get the same input and become somebody different. And so you have to learn corrective experiences through relationships, through relationship with self. How do you deal with your pain? Before, I used to walk away from it, and other people got cut because of it. That's how I dealt with it before. So hurt people unknowingly. I've gone back and I've said sorry to people who I hurt because I'm like, wow, I look back and think I was hurting. And I see that I did hurt you. Maybe it was unintentional, but that doesn't escape the part and the impact of the fact that I hurt you. Because now you have to deal with that pain. And if you don't and you walk away from it, then you're going to remain unchanged, but that pain is going to change you, and it's going to pour into somebody else, because hurt people. And healed people. And healed people, not saying that no one's ever healed, like you're done healing. But there are parts of you, when you begin to heal, it breeds compassion, it breeds humility, it breeds humbleness, and it breeds non-judgment, where you look at someone and you see their humanity, and you don't say, well, if I was them, I would have. You don't judge, because you know what you've done, and you've actually looked in the mirror and you've actually taken responsibility. Because if you are a human being and you think your mistakes are more like valuable, like there's people who are superior in their morality because they haven't been caught, or they haven't maybe been recorded, or maybe they haven't been seen at their worst. And there are people who have been at their worst, worse than the people that they judge, and they sit there and they point the finger and they think they really have a big problem. They need to go get help. And I just find it kind of funny when people do that, because it just tells me that maybe they should look at themselves. And I'm guilty before of thinking, well, especially when I was younger, and I really, I really have a good heart, right? And I saw other people really cause a lot of damage, and I remember thinking like I was maybe a little bit above them, maybe a little bit, where it's kind of like they're kind of not owed me, but it's not like this chip on my shoulder. It was just like this feeling of a little bit of superiority, but I didn't really like it, but I kind of, you know what I mean? I look back and think that wasn't right. That's not cool. That's not cool to ever be like that to anybody, ever, no matter what. We're all human, and there is nobody above anybody, and there is nobody below anybody. And I honestly believe that. And I think without all the experiences that I've experienced collectively, I would have never really been here. I'm 32. I'm going to be 33 years old in February. And I'm so happy with who I am, what I know, and what I practice, because I have sat with my shattered pieces and I have swept them up. I've spoken to even my kids about certain things that are uncomfortable. I know I wasn't perfect in this situation. And I know that you were uncomfortable because of me. And I was thinking, because I was in pain and my pain was valid, that it was valid to be maybe acting in a way that made others uncomfortable. No, it's not that. It's like valid, but it's not. It's human, and you're forgiven. And that's why when people act human and I hear people yelling and I hear people breaking down, when I hear someone at the threshold, they cannot hold any more pain. They cannot hold any more. It's over. Everybody has a breaking point. And some people don't know how to stop reaching that breaking point because they don't know how to deal. There's shattered glass everywhere. So everywhere everybody steps, everyone's bleeding and they're bleeding. Everyone's surrounded by their own shattered glass. And now they put on shoes, but it doesn't matter because eventually the shoes are going to get cut through because there's so much shattered glass. So everybody's walking through your shattered glass. You're walking through your shattered glass. Everybody's armoring up. Well, just don't say this. Well, just don't do this. Just don't show them this. Just don't be like this. Just don't feel this. Just don't be too sensitive. Don't be too much. Just don't talk to this and you start wearing and you start armoring up around people you love, and you think, okay, well, this is normal because I just want them to feel comfortable, right? It's not normal, and you don't make that normal anymore. Let's get real with each other. Let's look at each other in the eyes. Let's get real. What's going on? Let's talk about the shattered glass. Let's talk about your pain. Let's talk about my pain, and let's put it in the center of the table, and let's put the truth at the center of the table. And after that, let it rearrange everything how it has to be. If truth is going to cost you something, at least it's going to give you the reality that you need. At least it's going to rearrange your life around truth and not around hiding because of either shame or because you're scared of something or someone being mean to you or you triggering them and you don't want them to be uncomfortable. But discomfort breeds growth, and we're here to grow and we're here to evolve. And so the whole point of this is we all have fragmented parts we were meant to retrieve. And if you don't want to go retrieve those fragmented parts, you are going to cut people unintentionally. And we're all going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're going to do it. We already have. We're all guilty of it. If you are a human being with a beating heart, not only have you been imperfect and hurt someone, but you've unintentionally hurt somebody. And not only at times have you felt maybe, well, maybe they deserve it or whatever. The vengeance, eye for an eye mentality never doesn't move you. It just keeps you where you're at. And if you want to move forward and through, you have to be willing to move the pain, which means you have to be willing to sit with it, which means you have to be willing to show what you've been hiding and put it in the light and witness it through the eyes of love and see it. This all came from a thought of shattered glass and saying, sorry's not going to fix it. It's not. You got to go get the broom and the dustpan and you got to go sweep it up. So people around you don't get hurt. So people around you don't have to wear their shoes inside their house. So people around you don't have to armor up. And just know, if you're human, you're imperfect. And if you feel the right to judge another, that tells me that you need to look in the mirror. No one should be judging anybody. Nobody.